You know what it is, and you know what we do. Hey, it's What Up Doe, the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe show. Yo, what up, Doe? What up, Doe? What up, Doe? I just want to say big ups to all my people out there celebrating the birthday this week. Happy birthday to all y'all. And also, I want to say big up to Big Ed, who's hanging out down in Beloit or some shit like that. He off site today doing his own thing. He was able to get out the house, so we were unable to get him in here because you don't get to get out often. So today it's just me and my homie Wayz. What up, though, Wayz?
Man, not much at all. Busy ass weekend.
All right. A busy weekend. What you do?
Man, yesterday I had to go get my son, obviously, so that's a 6 hours drive.
Woo.
And then this morning we woke up, had breakfast, got straight to work on getting all this wood out of our yard. Altogether, I'm pretty sure it weighed out to be probably about 450, 500 pounds worth of wood altogether.
Damn.
Yeah.
I need to come get some of that instead of fire. But yeah, you good for firewood for a while then. Shit.
Man, ain't no lie behind
that. Yo, man, I just want to say to all my people out there that listened to the last episode, I got some good feedback. It was a lot of fun. We did the hip hop edition, the first hip hop edition. And this week we are doing the football edition of the What Up Doe show. So every week I'm going to try to come up with something different. If we may repeat episodes again. You know, we may do another hip hop edition. I'm sure we will. It's only so many topics. And I got the damn hiccups all of a sudden. I don't know where that came from. But I mean, we were sitting here talking for an hour before the show, and I ain't got no hiccups. And now all of a sudden we on, and I got the hiccups. But yeah, so this is the football edition. I hate Big Ed ain't here, man, because he would have had fun with this topic. But I got this is kind of like I'm making this, it's turning this into kind of like the What Up Doe game show.
Okay.
It's kind of like what it is. It's kind of like what it is. So we're gonna have some fun with the topic, not your normal football talk, just some fun with the topic. But before we do all of that or get into any of that, I also got a big surprise for him too, y'all. I got some shit for him. But here we go. Let's go and put the glass up in the air, y'all. Take a toast with us. All right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is burning my chest. Tearing them hiccups up. I can feel the hiccups crying for help right now. So anyway, what I'm going to do with this football topic, Wayz, is this. I took down a list of all of the 32 teams in the NFL. That's how many teams it is, right? 32?
Yes.
All right. Okay, it's 32 teams in the NFL. So I'm going to name the team, and I want you to tell me who you think is the greatest team in that franchise history. So yes, some teams moved around, but so it don't matter. I'm going by the team name, not necessarily the city they're in. I'm going to name them by who they are now, but you know, if like for instance, the first one, Arizona Cardinals, they were once St. Louis Cardinals. You had the St. Louis Rams. You know, so teams have moved around. The only exception is that the Baltimore Ravens were once the Cleveland Browns. So we're going to call the Ravens, not the Browns. Right. Okay. So when we go with the Browns, we go with that. Also, the other one is that the Titans were once the Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
So I am going to allow you to use the Houston Oilers in regards to the Tennessee Titans, because the Houston Texans are actually not previously the Houston Oilers. The Tennessee Titans were. So they are associated with them. However, the Cleveland Browns, just because the Texans have their own little culture, and I want to say leave them by themselves. And the Titans are actually the Oilers. But Baltimore Ravens are going to stand alone. The Cleveland Browns will stay the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Fair.
All right, so I'm going to start you off with the Arizona Cardinals, the greatest player in Arizona Cardinals history.
In my opinion, Larry Fitzgerald.
Now I have a question B.
All right.
Is he also your favorite Cardinal of all time? See, I had to throw it. It ain't gonna be a big surprise from here on out, but I still had to throw it in there. Is it your favorite Cardinal of all time as well?
Well, it's a tie between him and Kurt Warner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I got Larry Fitzgerald for both categories on the Cardinals. I think he's the greatest one, and he's also my favorite Cardinal.
Okay.
What about the Atlanta Falcons, the greatest Atlanta Falcon of all time?
I have Mike Vick.
I have Mike Vick as my favorite Atlanta Falcon of all time. As far as who I think is the greatest Atlanta Falcon of all time, I'm going to go with Deion Sanders.
Ooh, Deion. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put Neon as my favorite Atlanta Falcon then.
Okay, all right. Go swap it out. He goes swap it out. Okay. All right. The Baltimore Ravens, the greatest Baltimore Raven of all time.
Ray Lewis.
Actually, a very tough one because they have had some great players, but I am going to also go with Sugar Ray Lewis. Is he your favorite though?
Oh man, I don't know because that entire early 2000s defense is my favorite Baltimore Ravens.
They were tough. But is Ray Lewis your favorite player of all time? Your favorite Raven of all times?
Yeah, I'd have to go. I
am going to say he's not mine. I do think he's the greatest Raven of all time. But for me, my favorite Raven of all times is actually the running back they had, Jamal something. All right, never mind. You know what? Actually, my favorite Raven is their current quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Okay, that's fair.
That's actually the truth.
That's fair.
Buffalo Bills.
Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith is a very popular choice. Is he also your favorite, though?
No. Stephon Diggs.
Oh, Stephon Diggs is his favorite. Okay, all right. Well, I am going to shock you with my answer.
Okay.
Who I think is the greatest Buffalo Bill of all times is Orenthal James Simpson.
Oh, that's not a shocker for me, at least.
O.J. Simpson is the greatest Buffalo Bill player of all times, in my opinion. And contrary to his what he's now famous for or infamous for, I'm going to say he's still my all-time favorite Bill as well.
Okay.
I am just speaking of him as a player, though. But he was also entertaining off the field too. I mean, he was a lot of fun before the incident. He was a great commentator. He did movies of Naked Gun and that kind of shit. So he did do the Hertz commercials. He did a lot of cool shit. OJ was an icon, man, and then he became an icon for the Ginsu knife.
Yeah.
Um, Carolina Panthers.
Steve Smith Sr.
Steve Smith Sr. is the greatest. Who are you saying is your favorite?
Steve Smith Sr.
Steve
No,
Smith.
no wide receiver, in my opinion, has represented the hood more than Steve Smith.
Okay. All right. All right. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Steve Smith as the best Panther of all time. My favorite Panther of all times would be Sam Darnold. No, I'm just joking.
Damn. I was like, is this nigga on crack? What the hell just happened? Just ruined all hope in humanity there.
No, I'm definitely going Steve Smith. You know what the irony is though? The first a lot of people don't know this, and they don't put it out there. But his first game, they were playing against Green Bay. I happened to be watching, and I thought it was going to be something to fuck with his head forever. And lo and behold, he became again what we both call the greatest Panther of all time. But his first game, Green Bay kicked off to Carolina. He was doing kick return, and he fumbled the kick return. Green Bay picked up the fumble and scored. Kicked it off again. That motherfucker fumbled the kickoff again. His first 2 times touching the ball, he fumbled kickoff returns. And lost the fumble both times. And they scored both times. So yeah, that was I'll never forget that, man. I happened to be watching the game, and I was like, dang. And then next thing I know, this dude started taking off, and I was like, oh, that's the dude that was fumbling. And I remembered his name because of that. You know, they were talking about how he was highly touted and blah blah blah, and he came in there and he was a rookie, and boom, fumble. Like, oh shit, that's with his head forever. He's never gonna be good. He ain't gonna be shit. All right, so here we're gonna miss Big Ed for this one. Chicago Bears, the Bears.
Well, I could say who Big Ed would say is the greatest of all time.
Me too. I already know.
But he is not my greatest of all time.
He gonna say Gale Sayers.
Yeah. I got Brian Urlacher.
Oh, okay. And who's your favorite Bear of all time?
Walter Payton.
Okay. I can go with that. Actually, Walter Payton would be both for me. I think Walter Payton is the greatest Bear of all times, and he's also my favorite Bear of all time. Although I will give honorable mention to Dick Butkus.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, here's one for you. Cincinnati Bengals, greatest Bengal of all times.
I'll go with Boomer. Boomer Esiason.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to go with Boomer as well. What about your favorite Bengal? Yeah. See, what I don't know is I got him prepared for the greatest, but I didn't get him prepared. Let him get prepared for the favorite.
You know what? Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco.
Wow, that's not a bad one.
With a close second to TJ, Who's Your Mama? 2J, Who's Manzada?
Who's your mama? That's a good one. That's a good one. My favorite is Icky Woods. The Icky Shuffle was a thing, and I became a fan. I was a fan of the Icky Shuffle, even though they got to the Super Bowl and lost to the 49ers.
Yeah.
Twice. The Cleveland Browns. Some call the Cleveland Clowns. The Cleveland Browns, greatest Brown of all times.
One of the greatest running back of all times, Jim Brown.
Easy pick. Absolutely. And how about your favorite Brown of all time?
No one's going to agree with me. No one is going to agree with me. But Braylon Edwards, wide receiver out of Michigan.
Wow. I didn't see that coming from a mile away. Well, no one's going to go with me either. on it, but it's your favorite, so they don't have to agree with your favorite. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
greatest is debatable. My favorite is not. That's the difference, and that's what I like about the difference in those categories. Because while Jim Brown is the historical favorite, and of course, definitely the greatest Brown of all times, I think that goes without question. He was still kind of before our era. So I go with another one that is probably not a popular pick.
Okay.
Quarterback Bernie Kosar.
Oh wow.
Bernie Kosar was, and it was fun. But they had one of those. You remember those commercials Baker was doing at his house? Right, the stadium was his home, and he had Bernie Kosar was in one of those commercials with him. And I was sitting there going, "Oh shit, that's Bernie!" It was really cool. Okay, so let's see here. The Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, easy greatest of all time for me, Emmitt Smith.
Oh, okay. All right. And your favorite?
My favorite of all time is a little more tough than that. I will have to go Emmitt Smith as well.
Wow. All right. So my greatest of all time for
Ooh,
the Cowboys.
I got to change that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
T.O.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. All right. My greatest of all times for the Cowboys, I'm going to say, is Michael Irvin. I thought Michael Irvin was really the heartbeat of that team. But my favorite Dallas Cowboy is from the previous Super Bowl era of them, and that is running back Tony Dorsett.
Oh, I forgot about Tony.
Tony Dorsett was my favorite Cowboy of all time. Man, I used to actually root for them dudes when he was playing just because of him. He played at Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, and I used to love watching him in Pittsburgh. I used to be like, this dude is incredible. And they went to the pros, and I was Tony'd out. I was Tony Dorsett crazy. Not a Cowboy fan, but I would root for the Cowboys if they wouldn't play my 49ers because of Tony Dorsett. That was just my favorite guy. Denver Broncos. Tony Dorsett, one of my favorite running backs ever, too. Still. I'm sorry. Denver Broncos.
All right, so this is the one where I'll get controversy from most people on, because everybody's going to choose the easy path on this and say John Elway. I sure as hell will not.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's not a bad pick, though. That's not a bad pick. How about your fave, though?
Shannon Sharp.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with Shannon Sharp as my favorite. And largely because of personality. But he was also a playmaker.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm going to say the greatest Bronco of all time was John Elway. I don't think it's much debate. I think the closest second to him as for greatest would be Terrell Davis. I think I would get you would.
I forgot about.
You hear some of those names. That name come up probably. But overall, I'm sure the predominant pick would be Elway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, man.
True.
Orchestrated some of the greatest drives. All right. Your favorite team, the Detroit Lions.
I want to say they're my favorite team. I have respect for them, that's for sure, especially since they're like every person in the hood. They're always struggling. But I will go with Night Train Lane as the greatest Detroit Lion of all time.
Wow. Okay. All right. That surprises me. And your favorite?
Oh, Megatron.
Okay.
Megatron
all right.
all day.
That surprises me. I was waiting for you to say Barry Sanders was the greatest of all time, the greatest Lion. Most people say that. For me, Megatron is my pick for greatest. Although I have a tough call on my favorite Lion, being that this is my home team. I saw them all the time. Grew up with them. My favorite is probably Lem Barney. I'm going to go with Lem Barney as my favorite Lion of all times. It's interesting though. Billy Sims is a close second. But the interesting thing is that the number 20 jersey that Barry Sanders wore is the only jersey retired in 3 different names.
Really?
Yes, the number 20 is retired in Lynn Barney, Billy Sims, and Barry Sanders' name. On that note, I'm going to take a short break because I got something for you. And I want to do that next. This is the What Up Though show, y'all. Stay with us. Y'all don't want to miss what's coming.
Records production.
Begin. It's the What Up Though, the What Up Though, the What Up Though show. Yo, okay, so we are back, man. We are back. And I mentioned Billy Sims, and I was shocked that y'all didn't know who Billy Sims was last time I mentioned him. Billy Sims was a running back out of Oklahoma. I think he's a Hall of Famer, actually. His career got cut short because of injury, but when he played, there was literally first down, handed off to Billy. Second down, handed off to Billy. Third down, throw it to Billy. I remember Billy Sims was the ultimate. He was like the ultimate workhorse.
So he was like the prerequisite to Debo.
Yeah, he was. And then came Barry Sanders after Billy Sims, and they gave Barry the number 20. Billy took Lynn Barney's number 20, and then Barry Sanders took number 20. And they said, you know what? We're not going to press our luck with this jersey. We're going to go ahead and retire it, but we're not going to disrespect Billy Sims and Lynn Barney. So they retired the number 20 in all 3 names: Lynn Barney, Billy Sims, and Barry Sanders.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So they got, when they did it, it's like a little 3-head Mount Rushmore for the number 20. That said, when Billy Sims came to the Lions, his rookie year, his first 3 games, he got over 150 yards in each of his first 3 games. And the Lions went 3-0. And I was mistaken because last week I said that Big Ed was right, that the Super Bowl Shuffle was the first NFL team to make a song. The Chicago Bears, rather, was the first team to make a song when they did the Super Bowl Shuffle, and this came after that. And I was wrong because this was 1980 when the Lions went 3-0 and got real besides themselves.
This is Spider-Man Allen, and I have a message for everyone in the NFL. I've been sitting on the seat with his helmet way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of clean. The line began to roar. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Come and watch the Detroit line that no one seems to beat. Another one bites the dust.
Hey! And another one bites the dust.
And another one's gone. And another one's gone. And another one bites the dust.
Hey, I'm gonna get you too.
Another one bites the dust.
Bro, this blew up here too. They had the shirts. That became the campaign.
This special team, if you're dealing with the line, you know what I mean. Last year's team was 2-14, but this is the year for New Orleans. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Come and watch that Detroit line that no one seems to beat. And and another one bites the dust.
So I want to break that bar real quick. So he said last year's team was 2-14, but this is the year for New Orleans. So they went 2-14 their previous season. That's how they got Billy Sims. With that high pick, it was first to second. I'm thinking first, but it was a high top 5 pick. They got Billy Sims, and the Super Bowl that year, this year in '80, was going to be in New Orleans. So that's why they said this is the year for New Orleans. Last year's team was 2-14, but this is the year for New Orleans. So that was after 3 games, folks. They made this song.
And another one bites the dust.
And yes, they did lose the next game.
And another one's gone. And another one's gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
Hey,
Another one bites the dust.
come on. Yeah, and another one bites the dust. Hey,
I'm Spider-Man. I can do whatever a spider can. I can spin a web any side. They can catch football just like that. We got an offensive line who's very tough. Got a defensive line called the Silver Ruck. Got Dexter Bussey, Harsh King, see Billy run. You couldn't catch him with the gun.
see Billy run. You couldn't catch him with a gun. Now, Dexter Bussey, I used to like him too. He was the running back before Billy came. When Billy came, he became the backup, but he was the starter before Billy came. And I used to like Dexter Bussey. The Spider-Man Allen was actually a defensive back. And at this point, over the first 3 games, he was leading the NFL in interceptions.
Mm.
So this whole thing was Spider-Man Allen's idea. So he's the one doing the lead on this. This was Spider-Man Allen's song. TikTok, that's Monty Clock.
Receivers, Freddy Dodson.
Monty Clock was the coach who was just Billy centric.
Look, this bird is a plane. No, it's incredible Al Baker. That is.
Al Bubba Baker.
That dog will hunt. David Hill House on the street. Earl Flynn in the end zone.
Earl Flynn in the end zone. I'm surprised they got away with the Earl Flynn in the end zone. So Earl Flynn was a dance back then, but the Earl Flynn came from, it was also a gang. It was a local gang called the Earl Flynn's, and that's what they were known for. And people started doing the Earl Flynn. But that was it became it was something they started. It was really just doing your hand up with the waving your hand in the air with the Earl Flynn. But that was the Earl Flynn's was actually a local gang. So I'm surprised they got away with that back then.
Touchdown.
And they was notorious.
Super Bowl. World champ. Silver dollar. Detroit. Listen to the line. Listen to the line.
Yes, I had to do that. I had to do that while we were at the Lions. I couldn't think of a better time to break the monotony and let you hear another one like this.
I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't ready for that.
That was a big hit here locally. But they didn't even make the playoffs that year, as it turned out. As it turned out, they didn't make the playoffs, but they did win some more games. They were fun to watch because Billy Sims was so freaking exciting. He was very fun to watch. He was hard to say that he was my favorite Lion, but I can't top Lem Barney because I met Lem Barney. Lem Barney, people used to think I was Lem Barney's son when I worked at Blue Cross. They did. They thought I was his son, and somebody was like, "You got to meet him," and I was like, "Really? I definitely want to meet Lem Barney." At that time, and I was at Blue Cross, he was easily by far my favorite Lion, and then Billy Sims kind of took his thunder because Billy used to hurdle the line. You know how people used to dive over the line to get to 1 yard?
Mm-hmm.
Billy used to hurdle the line He used to jump over it so he can land on his feet and keep going. Man, he was out crazy. He was outrageous, man. Billy Sims, you got to look at Billy Sims highlight. There's one famous one. I think it was against Houston when he went and jumped over the line, and there was a defensive player coming, and he kicked him right in the chest. Bam! And the force of kicking him in the chest helped him land back on his feet. And he landed on his feet and kept going. It was the most incredible play I've ever seen by a running back.
Yeah.
All right, back to the game.
All right.
Back to life and back to reality. Now that the Lions have bit the dust. Green Bay Packers.
Oh, easy. Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, the greatest Packer of all times. I am going to agree with that one. Your favorite, though?
My favorite Packer of all time would be Darren Sharper.
That's a damn good one. Darren Sharper was great. For me, my favorite Packer, I think I'm gonna stick with Brett, man. I am. Brett was a gunslinger. I hated him, but it was a love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They were really, really rivals with the 49ers during his era. The Houston Texans.
Oh, who was your favorite for Green Bay?
Brett Favre.
Okay. Houston. I'd have to go with Andre Johnson.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. Although Andre Johnson was not my favorite.
No, D-Hop was my favorite.
D-Hop was a good one, and my favorite was Arian Foster.
Oh, I forgot about Foster.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a running back that never got the love he deserved.
Exactly. Out of Tennessee. Arian Foster was my favorite Texan. The Indianapolis Colts.
Easy one for me, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. I think that's an easy one for everybody, Peyton Manning. What about your fave, though?
Starvin' Marvin Harrison.
Wow. So my favorite is I'm going to go back to when they were the Baltimore Colts. Okay. My favorite Colt of all time is Burt Jones. One of the number 7. He was a quarterback of the Baltimore Colts back in the day, and he was a Brett Favre-like quarterback. Brett Favre always reminded me of Burt Jones. And that's part of the reason why I was a Brett Favre fan. He reminded me of Burt. I
would have liked him.
Burt Jones was extremely gritty, man. He
got
was
that schoolyard feel.
Oh, he was the grittiest quarterback to me, the grittiest quarterback of all time. He was just gritty. Of course, when I grew up, people started telling me, "Yeah, but he was a big time racist." I was too young to know that. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
This Slim Pickens.
It's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one, ain't it?
That offensive tackle they had, Tony Baselli.
Wow, that's when the offensive tackle is your choice, it's Slim Pickens. You know what? I missed one. My favorite. Who did I say was my favorite Carolina Panther?
Oh,
they're tied together because they came into the league together. That's why I went back. My favorite Carolina Panther was Wesley Walls, the tight end. So I want to take that one back.
Okay.
Well, I don't know who I named, but I'm going back a little bit and going with Wesley Walls there. My Jaguars, I'm going with what was the dude's name? He had the 3 names. Jones Drew.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Maurice Jones-Drew.
Maurice Jones-Drew. I'm taking him as my greatest.
Okay.
My favorite didn't the guy that played for Marshall, wasn't he their quarterback? Didn't he quarterback there for a while? I know Mark Brunell did. Mark Brunell is going to be a close second for me as far as my fave, but I think the black quarterback that coaches down in Tampa Bay.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Play for
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich. Yes. Yeah, but that's my favorite Jag.
That's a good choice too. I forgot about Byron.
Yeah, that's my favorite Jag. And Mark Brunell, close second, but a distant second, actually. But yeah, I'm going with Leftwich as my favorite. But I'm going with Jones Drew as the best.
Yeah, Maurice Jones Drew is my favorite of all time when it comes to the Jags.
All right, here's one that I'm going to have a good surprise for y'all, too. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Tony Gonzalez for the greatest of all time.
Okay. All right. That's a great choice.
My favorite is Patrick Mahomes.
That's also a great choice. I'm also going to go with Tony Gonzalez as the greatest of all time, greatest Chief. But my favorite of all time Chief is quarterback Len Dawson. Again, all the way back from their first NFL championship, their first Super Bowl championship team.
I got to scratch Patrick Mahomes.
For who?
Priest Holmes.
Oh, yeah. Priest Holmes was a monster. He was a monster. All right. I like that one. I like that scratch. That reminds me of old Red Fox joke when he said it was he said if he got rich enough, he wanted to buy a racehorse, and I would name him My Balls. So that way I could put him in a race and take him out the race, so they would have to scratch my balls. Then he'd do the call. He said, and my balls is coming around the corner, and my balls is coming up fast, and it's my balls, and it's your dick, my balls, my dog, my dick, and my balls is coming around the corner, and the winner is my balls. No, bitch, your lips. It was something like that. But yeah, he was a Richard. That was a Red Fox. That's what Red Fox did. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders. Needless to say, they were also the Oakland Raiders for decades. Also, they were the Los Angeles Raiders for a short stint. Tough one. There's a lot to choose from here.
For me, the greatest of all time for the Raiders is Charles Woodson.
Wow.
And he's also my favorite of all time.
Wow. So the greatest of all time Raiders for me is Jack Tatum.
Good pick.
My favorite Raider is probably a tough call here. I like so many of those damn players. I'm going to go with Kenny the Snake Stabler.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kenny Stabler, the Snake. I really wanted to go with Marcus Allen, but very close second. It's almost a tie. Marcus Allen is also. I would say Marcus Allen is like a tie for both categories. He's like a tie for both the greatest and my favorites. Yeah, he's a close second in both categories, man. The Los Angeles Chargers, also known as the San Diego Chargers.
My greatest of all time and my favorite of all time are two easy ones. Junior Seau is my greatest of all time.
Wow, okay.
My favorite of all time is LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh, okay. All right. That's two good ones. My greatest of all times is Kellen Winslow.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite was the QB, Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts was my favorite Charger. Los Angeles Rams, also the St. Louis Rams.
In my opinion, greatest of all time is Deacon Jones.
Ooh, damn good choice.
My favorite of all time is Marshall Faulk.
Very good choices. Both very great, excellent choices. Oh man, that Deacon Jones makes me want to change my pick. My greatest of all time for the Rams was what's that boy's name? I done forgot his name because you threw that Deacon Jones and threw me for a loop there.
I know most people will say Eric Dickerson.
And I'm going to say Eric Dickerson. But my favorite was Jack Youngblood.
That's fair.
Yeah, my favorite Ram was Jack Youngblood. Those were some gritty teams back then, man. And every time I think about those teams back in that era, I think of them wearing dirty uniforms. I do, man, because most people was playing outdoors all the time. So you just remember dirty uniforms, man. I miss dirty uniforms. All right, the Miami Dolphins.
Greatest of all time is Dan Marino.
By a mile.
My favorite of all time is definitely does not have the accolades, but he's just my favorite personality the team's ever had. And that is Ricky, I smoke weed every day, Williams.
Ricky Williams was great. Absolutely. Actually, Ricky Williams holds the record for the most yards by a running back, most rush yards for a season by a running back for the Miami Dolphins franchise. I saw that listed there. That was a very interesting list. I should pull that. I should find that. I should have pulled that out and ran that list down. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll find it during the next break. Anyway, of course, Dan Marino, the greatest of all time, greatest Dolphin. My favorite was Larry Zonka. Again, dirty uniforms. And also he was one of the driving forces of the only undefeated team in the history of the NFL still. The 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Went totally undefeated and won the Super Bowl. All right. We'll just skip that team. Let's go.
I know what team you're talking about. Nah. There's only one other team that has an M in their goddamn city's name.
And the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so my greatest of all time is Randy Moss. As far as I'm concerned, he's undeniable. My favorite of all time, and a lot of people, anyone watching this is going to say he's young, he doesn't know who that is, he doesn't know. I'm a student of the game. I've studied countless hours of footage for this game. Fran Tarkenton is the person that, if it weren't for him, there would be no fucking Michael Vick.
I am going to agree with both choices. By far. I mean, I pick Randy Moss, but not far and away, because Fran Tarkenton, for me, is a close second, actually. But Fran Tarkenton, definitely my favorite Viking of all times. He was so much freaking fun to watch.
Man.
He was the scramble artist of all scramble artists back then, man. Nobody scrambled. Nobody worked the pocket like Fran Tarkenton. Nobody.
Man.
Nobody. It was incredible.
Yeah.
New England Patriots. I think the greatest of all time there is
Yeah, there's no questioning that. Anyone who says different is just a fool. Tom Brady is the greatest of all time.
That's too easy. Too easy for that one. That's the one we could have skipped.
Well, yeah. I do have
different for your favorite.
My favorite is different. And it's a tie between Rob Gronkowski and Wesley Welker.
Okay. For me, my favorite is Tom Brady. I ain't gonna even front.
I'm not a Tom Brady guy at all.
Oh, Brady, man. Come on, dude. Brady. Thomas, the GOAT.
The reason I don't like Brady is because of how undeniably good he is. I don't like the fact that if you have him on your team, you are making the playoffs as long as he is playing.
So, okay, all right. I just thought something came to my mind, but I'll wait. I'll cross that bridge when we reach it.
All right.
The New Orleans Saints. I think it's undeniable.
Drew Brees.
Another one. Drew Brees, easily the greatest. What about your favorite, though?
Reggie Bush.
Wow, that's interesting. I wouldn't have said that one.
He was one of my favorite players to watch in college with USC. But when he came to the league, he missed a few steps. He couldn't really catch up to the league's pace and play. But man, he was electrifying.
Okay, I mean that's fair. That's fair enough. I'm not mad at the pick. I'm surprised by it, but not mad at it. For me, the Saints. My favorite Saint of all time is Drew Brees. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm rolling with Drew. Big two back-to-back Big Ten quarterbacks. Give it up for the Big Ten quarterback.
Man.
The New York Giants.
Easy. When I think New York Giants, I only think of one name.
Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence fucking Taylor. He is my greatest of all time, and he is my favorite of all time.
LT, the greatest defensive player ever. I'm gonna go with LT by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite.
LT
is his favorite. My favorite of the Giants.
Right.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor. I'm going with Lawrence Taylor.
I have to add on to that. Who do you think is the most entertaining Giant to watch?
Of all times?
Yes.
Actually, I think the most entertaining Giant of all times, and it's a guy that I don't personality-wise, he turns me off. But I thought Tiki Barber was the most entertaining.
Tiki Barber is another undervalued Giant of all time.
Yeah.
My most entertaining was Eli Manning and watching him scramble around in the backfield to find a position to throw that ball. Because that was you want to talk about a white boy in the hood running for his life. That is it.
Well, you know who we missed, though, is Michael Strahan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's how great Lawrence Taylor is. He makes you forget about Strahan. That's motherfucker.
Who is not a slouch at all.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see. Who's next? The New York Jets, of course.
Joe Namath, greatest of all time.
Cannot deny Joe Namath one bit. Favorite. Is he also your favorite?
No, he's not my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite is someone that I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, or meet at all, but have a close connection with it of sorts. Is Curtis Martin.
Okay, all right. Curtis Martin is a close second for me in both categories. Well, he's a close second in the favorites. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. He's a distant second, but he's a second in both categories for me. Joe Namath is the top dog in both categories for me by a fairly comfortable margin. But Curtis Martin is second.
See, for me, Curtis.
So
Martin,
what's this connection?
All right, so my mom went to school with Curtis Martin. Coincidentally, it's the same high school I went to as well. And you walk the Wall of Fame in Brooklyn Center High School. Right next to Curtis Martin is me.
What? What? That's cool. That's cool. So I have a similar story, but mine is a little more random. There's a restaurant on H Street. There's a soul food restaurant, and it's on H Street in Washington D.C. And I don't forget the name of it now. I used to go there every time I went to D.C. But the first time I went, I was with a friend of mine who turned out to be a cousin of the owner, and I told them I was a comedian and I'd be coming back to town, and that's what I'm doing comedy. And so I got home and I grabbed one of my pictures that I used my promo pics, and I signed it. And, thanks for everything. They hooked us up. The food there was phenomenal. And so I signed it. I did a little thanks for everything and signed it and sent it and mailed it to him. And we went for the Million Man March. It was me, my brother, Will, my brothers, Will, Chaz Original, the artist, and my pops. We all went to the Million Man March. And so while we were there, after we went to go eat, we went over to the spot, right? We went over there. And we were eating, and I was looking at the wall. I was facing the wall. They got it because I noticed they had all these pictures, all the famous people have been there on the wall. And I'm looking at the wall and I say, oh shit, there go my picture. And I was between Ralph Tresvant and Grace Jones. and right between, I'm next to Grace Jones. I feel proud. I feel great. And I went over there and said, I saw my picture there. You saw your picture on the wall. You thought I wasn't going to put it up there, huh? I appreciate it because my pops tripped on it. He was like, what your picture doing on the wall here? Wait a minute. How famous are you? How good are you doing in this comedy stuff? What do I not know? But it was pretty cool. All right, where were we? Getting back on track.
We just got through with the
Philadelphia Eagles.
For me, this is undeniable. This individual, Reggie White, greatest of all time.
I thought he was Green Bay Packers.
He played for Green Bay, but he's more known for playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. That's where I got to learn about him and know about him, and then he went to Green Bay. But I don't think I would have had the success I had with in playing football if it were not for me studying Reggie White and Junior Seau.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go with you with him as well as the greatest, because I thought, because I was feeling some kind of way about not mentioning him with the Packers. So I'm not gonna deny Reggie twice. Is he? So he's also your favorite?
He is my favorite. Yes,
he's your favorite as well. My favorite is Randall Cunningham.
Randall, yeah. I didn't even think about Randall.
Yeah, Randall Cunningham would be my favorite. I was a big fan of Wilbert Montgomery too. He was also a great running back, and I used to be a fan of his. But yeah, Randall is by far is my favorite Eagle. Here's a tough one because there's a lot to choose from.
Okay,
the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you choose?
For me, the greatest Pittsburgh Steeler of all time. And it's not that easy. It's actually pretty close. But my number one is Mean Joe Greene.
Very tough call, man. Ben is up there. They got some receivers, Lynn Swan. They got Santonio Holmes. They got so many great players, man. I'm going to go with you, though. Mean Joe Greene. I'm going with Mean Joe Greene as well as, because they got Franco Harris. They got so many to choose from.
Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, my God. But I'm going to go with Mean Joe Greene as well. What about the favorite?
Damn, I just mentioned all right, so now I have to leave it as a tie for my favorite between Big Ben and Terry Bradshaw. Big Ben was one of my favorite players to watch, especially when he's trying to be elusive and get that ball off. But
It's like he was elusive, but you couldn't really tell how elusive he was.
Yeah. He was slippery.
Yeah, exactly.
But Terry Bradshaw as well for me, because he's also to me the most entertaining Pittsburgh Steeler in history. Watching him on Fox during Sunday mornings, getting ready for football is one of to this day is my favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I tuned in for Terry Bradshaw.
Definitely a lot of fun. I'm going with Lynn Swann as my favorite.
Mm.
Lynn Swann is my favorite Pittsburgh Steeler of all time. There was nothing like watching that dude catch a football.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing like it. He was literally embodying his name. It was like a swan going up into the air. He was incredible when it came to the kind of catches he could make. I used to battle, of course I'm going with Jerry Rice as the greatest receiver ever, but Jerry Rice was just great in a different way. Lance Swann made the most incredible catches that I've ever seen in my life. It was on a consistent basis. Now I've seen some incredible catches, probably more so than he is. But like every week, he would make like 3 or 4 crazy. How did he catch that? Because he could jump so freaking high. And Bradshaw would throw it so high. And he would just go up for it. And Jack Tatum used to tear his ass up. But anyway. Speaking of Jerry Rice, the San Francisco 49ers.
Undeniable Jerry Rice. Greatest of all time.
Deniable.
Okay.
I've got a tie for the greatest. It's Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. I cannot not pick either one of them. I have to choose both. That's a tie for me. It's Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. My favorite 2 football players ever. Well, I take that back because my favorite 49er is actually Ronnie Lott. My favorite 49er was Ronnie Lott, but who I thought were the best 2 players were the greatest 2 of all time, Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, in no particular order. Who's your favorite 49er?
My favorite 49er was second time he's made those part of the list for me is Terrell Owens, T.O.
Okay. Man, I like Debo. Debo is up there. He's up there. He was creeping up there, man. If he leaves, if he stays, he's on his way to being my favorite 40. He's definitely my favorite current, but he's on my way to being one of my favorite all time just because I love saying his name. I mean, the dude is incredible, incredibly gritty. Seattle Seahawks.
My greatest Seahawk would be Steve Largent.
Excellent choice. Your favorite Seahawk?
Marshawn Lynch. No hesitation, no doubt.
No hesitation. He's definitely my favorite. I'm going to say my greatest is Russell Wilson.
That is absolutely fair.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh, easy.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Rondé Barber.
Okay, thank you. I was going to say, because this was where I was talking about earlier. Tom Brady can't really count for the Buccaneers.
No.
Because even though he hasn't been here long enough to really make the mark as the greatest. But your favorite Buccaneer? Rondé Barber was a beast. Warren Sapp is my favorite, and Warren Sapp to me was the greatest. I'm going with Warren Sapp with both categories on that one.
That is absolutely fair. Warren Sapp is one of those guys. He reminds me a lot of the guys my cousins would bring around when they start dating someone new. Like, I like this guy. How long is he going to last?
Yep. Warren Sapp was that guy For me, Warren Sapp was that guy that I always liked to hang out with because he'd laugh at all my jokes. He'd tell a bunch of jokes that ain't funny, but you got to laugh at him because he can beat everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody else come over starting shit, he gonna be the first one to jump up and say, "We got a problem here."
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's Warren Sapp for me. Tennessee Titans.
Earl Campbell.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I was going to say, and this does include. Who's your favorite?
Steve McNair.
I am in agreement, but for my favorite, I have a tie.
Okay.
Yes, I have Earl Campbell is the greatest in that franchise history, absolutely. But for my favorite, I'm going Steve McNair and Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Yeah.
Billy White Shoes Johnson was the most entertaining player of all time. There was nothing like seeing him score a touchdown and doing that dance. And last but not least, we finally come to the end of this list. We can take a little break after this. The Washington Commander Redskins.
All right. Art Monk is the greatest Redskin of all time.
Woo! Okay.
My favorite is Sean Taylor.
Okay. That's absolutely fair. So for me, the greatest is John Riggins. I thought John Riggins was a beast. And my favorite Redskin, I got to put some thought into that, man. My favorite Redskin of all time, I'm going to go with, yes, I'm racist. I'm going with Doug Williams.
Hold on, I got to make my shit a tie. I just thought about another player that is one of my absolute favorite Washington Redskins.
Who?
Clinton Portis.
Oh, Clinton Portis was nice. He was nice. Yes, I liked him. I liked him a lot. Nice choice. That was fun, folks. That was fun. Okay, so we're gonna hop into a quick break, and I got one last thing to do before we get out of here, if I can find it, and then we're gonna get out of here. So you're listening to the What Up Though Show. You're watching the What Up Though Show. Wherever you're checking us out, It's your boy OG Tim Wilson. I'm here with Wayz because Big Ed is on vacation, and we'll be right back. This is the What Up Though, the What Up Though, the What Up Though Show. Okay, so I saw this list earlier, and I am not gonna find it. I can pretty much tell I am not going to find it. But it was a list of every franchise's um, leading who had the leading rushing yards of all times in for a season for every franchise. And it was a cool list, and I didn't save it. Now I want it, and I can't find it, and I'm mad about it. But let's run down some and see if I can remember we've the ones I can remember, and let's go from there.
All right.
The Rams.
I'm going to say Eric Dickerson on that one.
Yeah, it's Eric Dickerson by far because, of course, he's he's got the most rushing yards of all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about the Lions? I'm trying to find this still while we talk, by the way.
Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders, he had the biggest season. Most yards, and I wish I had the list because they had the actual number of yards too. What's another team? 49ers.
Oh, man. I can't think of any 49ers running backs.
And I can.
Ike Taylor? I don't know if he was even on that team.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I think I found it. I think I found the list.
All right.
All right. So we already did the Rams, right?
Yes.
How about the Minnesota Vikings?
I believe Adrian Peterson still holds that.
Adrian Peterson does still hold it. And we did the Lions. What about the Baltimore Ravens?
Mark Ingram?
Nope.
I can't really think of any other Ravens running backs.
It's actually that one I was trying to think of, Jamal Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee Titans.
It ain't Derrick Henry, is it?
It is Derrick Henry. How about that? It is Derrick Henry. Damn, I just had it and I lost it. Dang it. Why am I just messing with shit? Why can't I just leave shit alone? The Chargers.
LaDainian.
LaDainian Tomlinson is correct. Let's see. I lost it, man. I had it and I done fucked it up. I'm fucking up. I had it and I fucked it up. Cleveland Browns.
I want to say Jim Brown, but I think that's wrong.
It is Jim Brown. All right, let me find it again. I had it up here, man, and I just lost it. How about the Chicago Bears?
I think Walter's the only one that qualifies in the history of that team.
Yeah, it's Walter. It is Walter. It is Walter Payton. How about the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, that's a stumper for me.
See?
I can't name you a single Buffalo Bills running back in history.
Oh, that's not good.
I know. They've always relied on the pass.
I can name Thurman Thomas, but it's not him. It's Orenthal James Simpson.
Oh yeah, OJ. Man, I guess you could say he was killing the field.
He was killing the field. Here's a surprise: Green Bay Packers.
Ooh.
You got this one. I don't think you're gonna get this one.
I don't think I'm going to get this one because I can only remember their current running backs.
Amon Green.
Oh, fuck off. God damn it. I knew him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Denver Broncos.
Mm. Oh, man. It's right at the tip of my tongue. I cannot remember this man's name. Who is it?
Terrell Davis.
Okay.
New York Giants.
What is it? Brandon Jacobs? Not Brandon Jacobs. I want to say
He came up early. He came up earlier.
right. God damn it.
Brother played for Tampa Bay.
Tiki?
Tiki Barber. Miami.
Ricky?
Ricky. This one surprised me, and this is a guy we forgot about. Nobody mentioned in other categories. How about for Atlanta?
Work done?
Jamal Anderson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a forgotten name, right? Here's a one that's going to really surprise you, though. The Dallas Cowboys. What running back had the most rush yards in a season for the Dallas Cowboys?
I already feel like it ain't Emmett Smith based off of the way you put that.
It is not the obvious. In fact, it is far from the obvious.
Please don't tell me it's that little boy.
It's
not Zeke, is it?
Nope.
Good God.
Nope. It's even further pitch than that. It is DeMarco Murray.
What? Who?
DeMarco Murray. The guy that they got rid of when they chose Zeke. The year before they got Zeke, he ran for 800 yards on 425 carries or something like that. Beat him up and then traded him. Indianapolis, the Colts.
Oh man, what is these things? And they had a hell of a running back too, and I cannot remember his name because he was there during the Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning era. I cannot remember his name to save my life.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Edgerrin James.
Yeah, Edgerrin James.
Yeah, that's not right. It is just this past season, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh yeah, that should have been obvious, I guess.
Well, but they had Marshall Faulk, they had Edgerrin James, so they've had some backs. But this past season, Jonathan Taylor broke the franchise record. Just this past season. Here's one that's a good one, a good blast from the past. Kansas City Chiefs.
My only guess is Priest Holmes, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
That's wrong. When you hear this name, you're gonna go, "Oh, I forgot about him," because I forgot about him. Out of Penn State, Mr. Larry Johnson.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know, right?
How did we miss him?
Exactly. He just fell through the cracks there. Let's see who else we got here. I found that this is not the list I had. It's a different list, so you have to excuse me. But it is a list, and I can go from this. The New York Jets.
For some reason I want to say Reggie Bush because I think he got traded over to them. And he had a pretty good season.
Yeah, but it's not him. It's your boy, Curtis Martin.
Okay.
Did I already do Seattle?
You did not.
Seattle Seahawks. Another name that, man, that just was my guy, too. I was so pissed off at the Lions for not picking this guy, and he went to Seattle with the very next pick. I forgot who they picked with 18, and then with 19, the very next pick, Seattle picked him. And I was like, that's who y'all should have got, man. And he was a beast. I was following him ever since, just so I could rub it into the line local fans.
Oh my God, I used to love playing as this guy in Madden. I know it's not Marshawn.
Marshawn.
Sean Alexander?
Sean Alexander, man. That is exactly who it is. Here is an absolute crazy one. I can tell you right now, I will pay you $50 if you guess this one.
Okay.
I'll cash app you tonight.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm.
I'm gonna cash app you. Okay.
Is it the Bucks?
I will pay your whole family $50 each. It is Barry Foster.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't know that.
I don't even remember that motherfucker. It did the 49ers. I mentioned them, but we didn't get there. 49ers. It's a tough one, but you know the name. You know him very well. I didn't know this, actually. I did. Because when I think 49ers running backs, I think Roger Craig, and then I think of the current ones, but Roger Craig is the name that stands out. I forgot this guy even played for them.
Oh my gosh, I should know this.
Oh, you know this guy, though.
Oh, I know.
You won't remember him as a 40. You probably don't remember him as a 49er. I mean, I barely remember him as a 49er, but I do, but at the same time, I don't even think of him as a 49er running back, but he did run for the 49ers. In fact, he holds their franchise record for a single season.
I keep wanting, for some reason, it keeps making me think Clinton Portis. And I'm pretty sure that's not it.
He didn't play for the 49ers.
Exactly. Who is it?
Frank Gore.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he did play for them.
Yes, he did. Did we do the Saints?
We did not.
Yeah, we're not going to get this one. We are not going to get this one. Saints running back from 1981 ran for 1,674 yards. And that is the franchise record. And you are not going to guess this name.
I'm just going to put a random ass name out there that I just made up in my head. Samuel Anderson.
Nope, it's George Rogers.
God,
just at random. Equally as random. And I think that's all of them, man. That's all the ones I got on this list. That's enough. I'm worn out. I'm done. That's it. That is all. This is the show. I want to thank you all for joining us, man. We always enjoy having you. Wayz, thanks for coming in and having a fun time with me here on the football episode of the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe show. Big Ed, I hope you're having a good time down there, down in wherever you're hanging out at. I think you're here to Beloit or some shit like that. But I hope you're having a good time, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this episode. We are the What Up Though Show Network.